Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Very disappointing Monday morning, to say the least. I listened to Doug's presser. Disturbingly disappointing to me. I just get tired. I get tired of these coaches taking a stand and basically saying that, they're sick and tired of losing. I'm sick and tired of hearing the excuses. I'm sick of that. How about that? I'm sick and tired of hearing the excuses. These guys have to, start taking this thing serious if they want us to take it serious. The one thing that I can't get over is me being okay. I'll classify myself as more than a casual fan. Clearly. One of my greatest passions is to talk Eagles football weekly, multiple times a week, in the midst of having a full-time job. You see what I'm saying? In the midst of having a family. You know what I mean? And I'm still here with it. So it's kind of an obsession at this point. I'm going to keep it 100. It's an obsession. But what really drives me up a wall is studying something, becoming obsessed with something so much that you know the weaknesses and you know what other teams are going to try to do to you. And these guys that get paid buku amounts of money should be knowing this, and they're doing absolutely nothing about it. I am so devastated. I could be taking this opportunity to gloat. I could be taking this opportunity to completely gloat that I called the quarterback keeper being deadly this week for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not happy I was right about that. I'm not. Shout out to everybody who's recognizing that I called it. I'm not happy about it. Because right after I called it, the defensive coordinator called it. So somehow, some way, we were on the same page, right? But how didn't this information get trickled down to the guys on the field? Why were the guys on the field just so susceptible to it? They abused us with it the first game on Graham's side. This week they go right to the left side. They beat us at our own game. And it's just it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that the defense can allow that to be the Achilles heel in a division game that I feel like we needed. You know what I mean? If you feel like Carson Wentz, if you're giving Carson Wentz some blame for yesterday, you just don't know football. You don't know football. Let me give you guys some harsh realities of Carson Wentz. The harsh reality is this. You can't even think about cutting bait with Carson Wentz until about 2022 because at that point, it's still going to be a $22 million hit on the cap. You can't even think about it. So what you better do is you better get some coaches around him who's going to coach him, who's going to coach the team as a whole, who's going to do what's best for the team to win. There's no reason why Carson Wentz looked as sharp as he looked yesterday. He looked really sharp in my opinion. Crisp, making good throws. Everybody, listen. You guys got to get out of the habit of making it seem like everything he's doing bad. Oh, he's throwing at people's feet. If you slow down the footage, you'll see the balls were tipped that were low. What blame are we going to give Miles Sanders for dropping a lot of passes that were right there to him yesterday? And we'll get to Miles Sanders in a minute. You know what I'm saying? And listen. Coach him up and do what you got to do to make sure that this thing gets turned around. The rest of the season is looking real grim. It's looking real grim. At this point, today, after this loss to the New York Giants, it's looking like we're not the best team in the division, although we have a half a game lead. And the only reason why we have a half a game lead is because we couldn't properly lose to the Bengals. 2020 has been a hot mess. We can't keep personnel on the field. We're poorly coached. Listen. You know what? Doug Pederson time is up. Doug Pederson time is up in Philadelphia as a play caller. If you're going to keep Doug Pederson around as a head coach, he needs to have a play caller next year. That's the bottom line. I'm tired of Doug Pederson's excuses talking about he's frustrated. I'm frustrated watching you call the game the way that you're calling it. I'm frustrated. Let me give y'all some information that's really frustrating to me. 7 minutes left into the third quarter. They decided to roll Carson Wentz out of the pocket. Last year, Carson Wentz was second best outside the pocket to Russell Wilson. This is analytical data that you could carry into the next season. You know your quarterback's strengths. You know his strengths. Move him outside the pocket. You know his strengths. He's not a stationary passer. So why are you waiting till 7 minutes left in the third quarter to roll him outside the pocket? And then when you do, back-to-back 40-yard plays. Back-to-back 40-yard plays. So now a light bulb should go off in your head if you're an offensive play caller, or if you know what I'm saying? A light bulb should pop in your head. We rolled him out of the pocket. Back-to-back 40-yard plays. And then this is what Doug Pederson decided to do as a play caller. Never roll him out the pocket again. It's like at this point, Doug Pederson is coaching against the team. He's coaching against the strengths of the team. He's not doing what works. Let me ask you a question. Why has Miles Sanders never carried the ball 20 times in 23 career games? Why has Doug Pederson repeatedly, this is 2 weeks in a row, Doug Pederson has robbed running backs of career days? Miles would have had a career day had Miles would have had the 30 carries he deserved. Because he was looking good. Boston Scott was tearing Dallas up. We decided to start having Carson Wentz sit in the pocket stationary. Listen, quarterbacks survive. Football is the ultimate team sport. The ultimate team sport. It's not Carson playing hero ball. It's Doug coaching hero ball. Now, I will give you this. Nobody's making Carson Wentz make some of these throws. Nobody's making him throw some of these passes. Now, he didn't turn the ball over yesterday, so I'm not talking about yesterday. I'll use yesterday as an example. I think we had a little bit of time left in the half, right before the half, or right before the third quarter or something like that, backed up against our own goal line. I think it was like a 3rd and 19. Doug Pederson decides to throw a Hail Mary. A Hail Mary. It was batted down, but those are the type of plays that get intercepted. He decides to throw a Hail Mary, I think, to Rager in double coverage. Nobody there. Nowhere for Carson to throw the ball to. But that was the play that was drawn up. Because if it gets intercepted, it's just as good as a punt. But in reality, the media is going to destroy your quarterback because he already leads the league in interceptions. They're going to destroy him for throwing one more. The screen game. Listen, the offensive play calling is abysmal. It's abysmal. And I've been telling y'all this from day one, that they will choose Carson Wentz over Doug Pederson. It's just a matter of when. It is just a matter of when. It's not an if. It's a matter of when. We out here running the most vanilla defense I ever seen in my life. We not taking it serious, and it's pathetic. It's pathetic. Jalen Hurts. Why is he even on the field? He's only on the field at this point to waste a down. He's only on the field to waste a down. He's not on the field to do nothing, but take a quarterback keeper that everybody in the state knows is coming. Kelsey. Was Kelsey drinking Henny before the game? I haven't seen terrible. Come on. I never seen a center single-handedly, along with bad play calling, double-handedly, bad play calling, and bad snaps. I've never seen them work so well together to destroy the rhythm of an offense. His replacement needs to be drafted. Yes, his replacement needed to be drafted yesterday. Last week. Just despicable. Like I said, man, if you could find a way to blame Carson Wentz for what's going on, then you're not watching the game. You're not watching football. You're not watching it. I don't have a lot of problems with the defense, but they just cannot stop misdirection. They can't stop it. Everybody's going to do it to us. Everybody. Are we looking down the tunnel of a slaughter going into Cleveland next week? We still haven't won a 1 o'clock game. Doug Pederson needs to be relinquished of the play calling duties. His ego will not let it die, though. His ego will not let it go. He won't do it for ego purposes, I'm telling you. Imagine being a head coach and giving up calling plays after you've been doing it for 2 years and the offense has been trash for 2 years. You're going to have to fire Doug Pederson. He's not going down without a fight. Now, maybe Lori could come down and make an executive decision like, listen, you still the head coach around here, but we want you to focus on other football operations instead of calling plays. Let somebody else do it. I'm certain that Marty Mornhinweg, anybody else on the offensive side of this coaching staff can call a better game than Doug Pederson. Anybody else, man, because this is his fault. This is his fault. Listen. I think we averaged 5 points a game per half this year. 5 points a game in the first half. Something like that. I'll find the stat and I'll throw it up here. 5 points a game in the first half. In the first half, your 15 scripted plays take place in the first quarter. The slow start has to be blamed on the 15 scripted plays that your head coach or your offensive coordinator is calling. We need an offensive coordinator. We don't need a quarterback. He's not calling plays to the strength of the offense. He's calling plays for some other reason. These are not winning plays that are being called. He's calling plays for other reasons. Period. Why has Miles Sanders not had a 30-carry game? Why? Did we even get 30 carries between Miles and Boston? They both was tearing the defense up. At least give me 15 and 15. I think Boston had under 5 carries. What's really going on? Like, it's not that hard. You see they can't stop the run. Keep running the ball until you make them bite on the play action. With the success we had on the ground, we should have seen some great play action deep balls. We should have seen it. We should have seen it. The screen game, oh my God, we were one of the best screen teams ever. Ever. It's just a sad day to see the play calling get worse and worse. And Jim Schwartz and Doug Pederson have to be replaced. Listen, Eagles fans, I'm going to tell y'all, it's imperative that we stick together. I'm going to tell you why. Because there might be some dark days ahead. I'm not going to lie. We had fun going to the playoffs 3 straight years in a row. We still in it to go 4. Who knows? Maybe we can get our act together. The records, we still in first place. That's the bottom line. But there can be some dark days ahead. With this schedule and this terrible play calling, there can be some really, really dark days ahead. You probably going to feel like giving up on your team. But understand this. The players are being coached a certain way to carry out a certain game plan that is failing us all. Period. This proves it. This one stat proves it. 7 minutes into the game, into the third quarter, you decide to roll him out for the first time in the game, back-to-back 40-yard plays. Those are big plays. And then you don't go back to it. Miles Sanders having a field day. Miles Sanders still never carried the ball 20 times. I got to look that up. Somebody told me that. I don't believe that. That Miles Sanders never had 20 carries in a game. If that's true, Doug Pederson cannot be calling. He can't be calling plays. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. This is crazy.